Hello. Good afternoon from Disney World. I'm at Epcot. I'm about to go to Magic Kingdom, I think. I've seen 4 princesses today, so in Epcot. Now I want to go to Magic Kingdom and see the castle. I think that's where I need to go next. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I know I'm having a good day. I'll see you with more. I'll share more of my pictures and videos later. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
He was a retard.
What we all just witnessed in that first clip is the start of a collapsing society. At no point ever should a grown man be allowed to dress up in a little outfit like that and walk around Disney looking for princesses. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So I have a very quick and very crazy Weekend Clown World update for you guys today, and as usual, we have, well, very little time to waste. So let's get into it. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment. So this slightly rotund fellow who is a biological man that identifies as a trans woman actually did the meme. Now, on one side, you'll see the AI-generated photo that he uses for all of his profile pictures, and this is what he actually looks like. And this is the meme.
It's funny because it's true.
Now, in today's video, we're going to take a look at some clips that are also contributing to the collapse of our society. Now, some of the dumbest among us have ascended to authoritative voices like media figures and politicians. You guys know what I'm talking about. So we're going to keep it moving with this clip of Don Lemon getting absolutely bodied by just a couple of regular people on the street. Roll it.
Okay, crossing the border illegally is not a crime?
No, it's not a criminal act.
Okay.
It's a misdemeanor.
So why are they being sent back and saying that they're breaking the law?
That's the point.
Okay, as somebody that actually...
We don't know if they're breaking the law because they won't tell. There's no due process. Where's the evidence? That's the whole point. And if they are breaking the law, most people will say, okay, then they need to go if they're criminals. But if they're not, why are they being rounded up and sent out? Especially when he promised to deport the criminals. And now he's not doing that.
Yeah, I don't think we're going...
Misdemeanor is not a crime. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So misdemeanor is not
It's
a
not
crime?
a criminal act, no. If you get charged with a misdemeanor, that's not a criminal
why
act.
get charged at all then, if it's not a criminal act?
Because we have different levels of crime. Everything is not the same.
So it is crime.
No,
it's just
we have
different
we
levels.
have different levels of. I shouldn't say crime, but it's not a crime. You're not breaking the law. I mean, you are breaking the law, but it's not a criminal act.
So it's breaking the law.
It's
No,
breaking the law, but it's
you're
just
not breaking the
different
law.
level
The
of
misdemeanor is not
crime.
breaking the law.
No.
So if you're speeding, drinking, get pulled over, DUI.
That's not a criminal act. Well, no,
It's a
if you're
misdemeanor.
speeding is a misdemeanor.
It's a
Right.
misdemeanor. So it's still breaking the law.
Okay. Well, if you want to qualify that, we're doing semantics.
Because
But
why
what
would
I'm
you
saying,
get pulled over?
but what I'm trying to tell you is everything is not the same. It's all not one thing.
But is it the law?
What is it? The law that what?
Is it a law to come
Is
over
there a
legally?
law?
Is there a law?
There are rules that are processes that you should follow. Yeah, so you're breaking rules. You're breaking the rules, but you're not necessarily breaking a law.
So what happens when you break the rules?
Then you suffer the consequences. But the consequences should not. Look, no one is saying no one should suffer the consequences. You guys are getting things mixed up.
Come again.
It's not a crime. You're not breaking the law. I mean, you are breaking the law, but it's not a criminal act.
That's the dumbest thing you could have said. What are you, an idiot?
Now, as most of you know, Don Lemon was an authoritative voice as a news anchor on CNN for years. And listen to the guy. He's a fucking idiot. Anyway, next up we have former U.S. Congresswoman Katie Porter. Yes, this lady used to be in Congress. and now she's running to be the governor of California. Now, this clip is kind of long, but it's definitely worth the watch. It almost feels like an episode of South Park. Roll it.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, man?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%. Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're saying.
In a general election, yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
So how do you not intend that to be the case? Are you going to ask them not to run?
No, I'm saying I'm going to build the support. I have the support already in terms of name recognition. And so I'm going to do the very best I can to make sure that we get through this primary in a really strong position. But let me be clear with you. I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an experience.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't
I
think
feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
Correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters. Okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered our follow-ups.
I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never
reporter.
had to do this before, ever.
You've never had to have a conversation with
to end
a
an
reporter?
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
What part of I'm me? I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. So I am going to make...
So you're not going to answer questions from reporters? Okay, why don't we go through? I will continue to ask follow-up questions because that's my job as a journalist, but I will go through and ask these, and if you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer. So nearly every legislative...
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you, and I don't want this all on camera.
What a bitch.
Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, Mike, Katie Porter was probably just having a bad day that day, so she was a little rude to the reporter. However, that would be incorrect. There are plenty of videos online showing what a shitty person she is, and I'm going to play this one for you guys of her on a Zoom call berating one of her staff members who walks into the camera shot. Roll it.
It's dying prematurely to air pollution and other problems, and the state could lose. Get out of my fucking shot.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect. It's not that it's electric vehicles. It's that if we don't meet the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that. Stay out of my shot. Okay, I'm going to start again with electric vehicles saving us money.
You're such a bad person. Like, all the way through to your core.
Now, CNN was a garbage network back when Don Lemon used to work for them, and they are still a garbage network today. Now, many of you probably heard that the Attorney General of New York, Big Tish Letitia James, was recently indicted for mortgage fraud. And how does CNN cover it? Everybody does it. Roll it.
Aside for a second, what Tish James, and again, we're still getting the details, but if it's related to this mortgage issue, I mean, this is something that everyone in America, or many people at least, if you're lucky enough to be able to buy a house in America, you deal with this, right? The federal government doesn't go after all of these people for doing this.
That is the stupidest thing I ever heard of. Jesus Christ.
Hey guys, real quick, before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen. By the look on this fella's face, he's about to drop a deuce in his undertrousers. Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by Robert Zumato. Robert, thank you so much for sponsoring today's video, sir. I really appreciate the support. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. All right, I think we've all seen enough of this fella for one day. Get this off the screen, please. Ugh.
A black guy. Imagine that.
All right, let's step away from politics for a moment and see what else is happening out there in clown world. Next up, we have this slightly balding fella who claims to have 2 boobs. Roll it.
Who's got 2 boobs and just replaced her own air conditioning blower motor? This girl right here.
Well, she's a guy, so.
And next up, we have another lesson in fat phobia. Roll it.
Hello there, friends. This is just a friendly reminder that when a fat person tells you, hey, that's fat phobic, your first response should not be, no, it's not. Just like when black people tell us what racism is, we shouldn't be saying, oh, no, it's not. Just like when gay people are telling us what homophobia is, we shouldn't be saying, oh, no, it's not. When a fat person tells you something that is fat phobic, you're supposed to stop and be like, oh, didn't know that. Thank you so much for telling me. Appreciate it. Won't do it again. That's how that works, in case you didn't know.
The f did you just say?
Hello there, friends. This is just a friendly reminder that when a fat person tells you, hey, that's fat phobic, your first response should not be,
You don't want to die, you fat bitch.
All right, guys, we are going to be wrapping it up with this clip from MSNBC of Simone Sanders saying that President Trump should get the 25th Amendment and that even though Joe Biden was old, he was there. You know, this is another reason our society is collapsing. Simone Sanders should be working at the Waffle House, not reporting the news on cable television. Anyway, things are clearly getting very crazy out there, guys, so please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time, love you guys. Peace. Roll it.
That we have someone who's at the president whose information input and flow and information output is so unrelated to actual reality.
You know, when you ask the White House staff about this, because Caroline Leavitt is at this point being asked about what the president posts on his social media site daily, oftentimes in very generous terms, but at least they were asking her about it. She often says, well, you know, the president is very unfiltered. You know, the president is authentic. He is who he is. And I would just argue if Joe Biden were retweeting AI content videos, if he was putting up little racist AI memes of the leaders of the Republican leaders of the House and the Senate, if he was opining about video from a couple years ago, folks would be asking where's the 25th Amendment? They would be like, come ahead, step up. So I will just note that it is not. It's not hyperbole. You know, I'm somebody that does not. I don't like how people used to say the things about Joe Biden, because if you had a conversation with Joe Biden, he was there. You could say he was old, fine, but the president does not seem to be there.
What did you say? What the did you just say?
If you had a conversation with Joe Biden, he was there. You could say he was old, fine.
You lying bitch. She is lying like a motherfucker. I know that. Ooh, that TSA shit tingles. This motherfucker's lying.
2, 10, 12, 15. Oops, stepping on a. It's black. Anyway.